You're what up, YouTube? It's your boy Wabi with the Politically Correct Show. Uh, Coming at you with another episode, of course. So, today I'm gonna talk to you about other podcasts, ironically, because this week, as I'm recording it, was absolutely um harsh for some of my favorite podcasts, and um Nightcap, one of the most popular ones, and then also you got Gil's Arenas. Well, arenas at this point. So I'm gonna talk about arenas first. So Gil's Arenas, the downfall. I won't say downfall because they're absolutely still popular, and I'm still watching them. The content's still great. So I'm gonna say their problems started with I'd say it started around the time where Chauncey Billups was going through that gambling thing. I think Gil was going through that gambling thing as well. I don't know if it's the same case. I don't remember, but I remember Gil had something to do with something with gambling, and ever since then, they moved out of the arena, the place where they were potting together, and then they started like doing what I'm doing right now and like potting on their camera and their like phone. Kind of wasn't professional looking, but I mean they're NBA players, you know what I'm saying? So like you're still gonna watch, right? So that was a little bit of a difference, and it probably hurt them a little bit, but it wasn't like too bad. And and then months later, I would say the next problem would be with uh Rashawn McCants. I mean, Rashawn McCants has kind of always been a problem with his I wouldn't say antics, but his personality, it kind of rubs people off the wrong way. So he went through all that stuff with North Carolina and all that cheating scandal stuff. So uh the Baja crew was coming at him, and that was kind of embarrassing. I mean, for me, honestly, it was kind of like I'm kind of like that kid on the side, just observing, and you know, I wouldn't. To me, it wouldn't be embarrassing to me, but like it's kind of embarrassing because of social media and stuff, and the way people look at it. At the end of the day, he a college basketball player that was relevant enough to have to go through scandals and stuff. So that's the way I would look at it if I was him. But you know, that's just the media, blah blah blah. So they had that going on, and then now they have this Kenyon Martin and the producer thing going on, where I didn't know Kenyon Martin stutters as much until someone pointed it out. Like I wasn't thinking about him being the stutter man until this video did come out. So I kind of understand where Kenya Martin's coming from, because the only time I hear him talk about it, the only time I notice it really is when he talks about it. So I kind of understand what he's going through, but it's like at the end of the day though, it's like, why are you so emotional? Like like when I'm at work and stuff, I don't have to be in my emotions. Like people talk about me all the time. Like when I'm at work, people talk bad. Like I remember one time, just like last week, somebody, you know, was mad at me because I said what I answered them with what, and she was just going off, and I didn't get emotional about it. I just put it the way it was. Like, for one, you're just being honest, cool, blah, blah, blah. But then for two, not only that, but it's like, it's not that deep. You don't have to, you know, be super emotional about it. Like, he was talking about some, he don't care how old it was. And, he said what he said and this, that, and the third. Like, I mean, yeah, cool, whatever. But at the end of the day, man, you're the one who puts the attention to it. Like, if you didn't bring so much attention to it, people wouldn't even be talking about it. Like, I wouldn't be talking about it right here, right now. I probably would have saw that video, but I probably would have blew the video off because I wouldn't know what I'm looking at. But for you to come at the guy publicly, and then not only that, but reiterate what you was talking about and just make this whole press scene about it, it's diluting from the show. And I didn't even watch no Gills Arenas this week, because I've been so busy with their drama, and I've been watching different people's opinions, blah blah blah, forming my own thing because get the facts in and this, that, and the third. And, I'm just thinking like it's just taken away from the show. Like all this extra drama and stuff with Rashad McCants and Kenyon Martin. It's just it's too much, and this is how shows get destroyed. I'm not saying that they will get destroyed, the arenas will get destroyed, but I'm just saying this is what it's looking like. And I don't want it to be so because I like the show. I'm a big fan of uh the arenas. I was there when it first came up, and I'm still watching it to this day. Shout out to Gills because Gil, I'll say this about the show. Gil is perfect, is a perfect host. He's a perfect leader because it's like when Rashad McCants was like, "Do y'all see me as somebody who would quit?" Gil was just like, "Yes." Like he's honest with him. Like the Kenyon Martin stuff, he's telling you his honest opinion about it. So, I think Gil is a pretty good leader. With Gil and Nick Young being funny, I feel like that show is always gonna flourish. You got Kenyon Martin being a little emotional, but Kenyon Martin has the nice old gritty old head feedback that you need because he has the knowledge that Gil and Nick Young and Rashad McCants don't. I won't say they don't have, but they don't really show because they're not as serious to the game as Kenyon Martin was. Yeah, so I believe Kenyon Martin is a huge piece of the puzzle. It's just him and Sean McCants, they just seem to keep getting into things. Like I remember, I think in between all of that stuff that I was talking about before, I believe Nick Young and Kenyon Martin had this thing going on. Because, you know, Kenyon Martin be bullying people, so oh yeah, it was about rings because Draymond Green and all of that stuff. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like they keep fighting each other and all that stuff. I mean, it just feels like the band's probably gonna break up, and I hope not. So let's go to Shannon Sharp, Chad Ochocinco, and ISO Joe. With their story, it's nice, sweet, and short. um, their story is basically like uh Chad Ochocinco had his daughter's birthday, right? But before all that, he had planned months ahead that he was supposed to go to a game with Joe and Joe Johnson. He's going to the Atlanta Hawks. Anybody knows basketball, everybody knows Joe Johnson is big at Atlanta. Joe Johnson's also big at the Nets in Brooklyn because when Joe Johnson was playing, like, he was a beast, like, absolutely ridiculous. Like, like, I remember watching him and he was about damn near in his mid 30s when I was watching him, and he was still like one of those ones, like, he wasn't like what he used to be when people older than me, I'd say people who are like 30 right now, when they were kids, they were watching him. He wasn't moving like that, but I still got to see Joe Johnson in action, man. I've seen him hit clutch shots too, man. So it's like Joe Johnson, you go into an event for Joe Johnson, it's basically like business, especially when you're going to the Atlanta Hawks game, because Joe Johnson's big at Atlanta. That's obvious. So it's like that's an event that you have to go to. And your daughter's birthday is also an event that you have to go to. Like me, I throw like my viewers know. My viewers know. I don't do no, oh, it's my daughter here, so I'm just not gonna do the video today. Like, my daughter never gets in the way of videos, and my videos never get in the way of my daughter. Like, I have my daughter right here screaming, singing for y'all before I stop a video, and vice versa. I'll stop a video before my daughter can't be. If I have to make a video or my daughter can't be around, or I won't be around to watch her, then I guess I'm just not going to be making the video on that day. So I understand both sides, but at the end of the day, Chad Ochocinco should have had I wouldn't say the decency, because Chad Ochocinco is put it like this, when I watch Nightcap, Chad Ochocinco has taught me more life than football. So I'll say Chad Ochocinco has a lot of decency. So I won't say decency, but I say Chad Ochocinco should have been more aware and of the situation, and he should have worked his way out of it. Like, he should have said, "Nah, I can't go because it's my daughter's birthday." Like, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, "Nah, I can't go." Because, you know, she's like 10 years old, like Shannon Sharp said. So it's like her birthday's always been her birthday. So you knew when her birthday is. You might, and a few months advance, like 1-2 months advance, you knew when the event was coming. So you should have known, like, you should have said like 2 weeks later after you made up your mind, like, "Yo, I'm not coming." And then you don't even hit the guy up. Like, I just hate it when people do that. I hate it when people do that. I hate it when people will ask me for, like, say someone asked me for a collab, right? Someone asked me for a collab. Or I asked somebody if they can feature in one of my songs. Or I asked them if they want to split some studio time. It's like you hit them up, and then when it's time to do this shit, they like blow you off a little bit just so they can do something that they would rather do. when they could have just hit me up and said, yo, I don't want to do it anymore. You can go on and do it without me. Like, I respect that a lot more. I respect you blowing me off that way than you just blowing me off and not hitting me up. Like, that's like so disrespectful. Like, probably not for them, because their business and they're probably friends in real life, maybe. So probably not for them, but for me personally, there's very, 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 very few people who I'll allow that to happen. And I wouldn't allow nobody for that to really happen. But I'm just saying, like, for me to shrug it off and be like, you can do better next time, there's very, 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 very few people. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably like my mom, my dad, maybe. Like, it's like, I don't know. I can't roll like that. I can't let somebody not, like, if I hit you up and you're going and you tell me you're going to an event, well, that we're going to an event, like, because this is business at the end of the day, because it's advertisement when they go to games, because that reminds you that they're making a podcast, because obviously Joe Johnson going to uh Atlanta Hawks basketball game, all of Atlanta's going to be watching the basketball game. Probably not all of Atlanta, but you know what I mean. A lot of Atlanta's going to be watching the basketball game, and he's going to be on a jumbotron. They might have him on the TV before the commercials or been beginning the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is. And in your Chad Ochocinco, so the same goes for him too. So it's like, it's business, man. And you gotta handle your business. Damn. You know what I'm saying? It's a business, man. And you gotta handle your business. Damn. You can't be out here just blowing your business partners off, no matter how cool you are with them. Because that was y'all's night to show up, and you ain't show up. And I get it, I understand, because it's your daughter's birthday and stuff, but that's where accountability steeps in. And not enough of us have that accountability. That's why I don't that's I won't say that's why, but that's some of the reason why I'm not having a collab right now, is because it's hard to find somebody with accountability. So it's like, I don't want the trouble, and plus I don't want to be disrespected like that. Like, damn, like, you're not even gonna call him. You're not even call, no text, no nothing. I call you and I text you and you don't even answer the phone. I know you've been on your phone. Like, you ain't been off your phone all day. You could have at least answered the phone and said, I'm not coming. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, both podcasts are gonna be good. They're gonna be chilling. It's just a little drama for the week. Probably a little clout making. Uh, as I record this, Kanye West, aka, well, Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, aka Yeezy, has sent me my bag, my Yeezy bag, but hasn't sent me at all, well, my Yeezy hat, my Yeezy beanie, that kind of makes it look like I'm probably about to rob somebody. But he got me my bag. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, I think, Spotify, maybe. I think Spotify handles this stuff. I don't know. Ever since he went through that Jewish stuff, you kind of never know with that guy, of where he gets his deals from at the end of the day. But yeah, here we are. Here we are. Let's see here. Let's see if we got the bag here. Yeezy bag. Nice, smooth fabric, I would say. if I was to explain it, it's nice and smooth. Uh, I wouldn't say it's leather, but it's like some. I feel like feeling the texture. I feel like it might be good, you know, through the elements. Because some bags aren't good through the elements. I think this bag's nice, good through the elements. It's nice, lightweight. It got a little pocket for the inside. You know what I'm saying? Not too big. I thought it was gonna be a little bigger, but it's not as big. $60. The only problem with my purchase with that is the fact that um it took so long. It took so long to get. Yo, Yeezy. Yo. Yay. This is a message to you. If you ever stumble across this one day, I need you to understand that whoever you're doing the delivery deal with, or whatever you call it, it's not working out, because I've been waiting for your products for like months, man. It's like it gets ridiculous. So I just hope you can work that out, because he just comes up with stuff that I want, and and now it's affordable, but now I can't get it because it'd be stuck in the mail. So it is what it is. Hopefully he gets that straight. But as I record this, he did not drop his album, Bully. He didn't drop Bully yet. And I guess all the Yeezy fans are waiting. I'm not waiting, because I gotta make my own little music. So, just tell me when it's done, basically. That's how I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. So it is what it is. Until then, I'm gonna be bopping to his rough draft of the Bully that I've already listened to. And that's another thing, is I've already listened to the album, basically. Like, unless he completely changes it, I've already listened to the album. You know, it's all over you. It's all over YouTube, because he put it on X, not too long last year. So, even if he does drop it, it probably is something I've already listened to, because I've already listened to a form of Bully. I guess it's just the rough draft or whatever. But either way, I probably already listened to it. So that's that. And that's my episode, basically. You got the mistakes and the heartbreaks of the Gills Arenas. That's what I'm gonna call it, the Gills Arenas, because I'm a true fan. That's what I like to call it, the Gills Arenas. And with the allegations of the gambling, and then the taking of the name to arenas, and then the taking of the actual arena that they actually was potting on. Now they have to do it at their homes, like I do, except for they actually have voices that the masses already heard of for a million years. And now then they had the Nick Young and the Kenyon Martin little squabble, because of the Draymond Green and Kenyon Martin squabble. And then they had let's see here, what I was talking about again, with the squabbles. Yeah, and then they had the LaShawn McCants back and forth with the Baja crew, with Charlie Villanueva, and that Charlie guy, my boy, who I used to play with all the time on 2K, and Raymond Felton. And then they had this recent one right here with the Kenya Martin and producer thing with the Stutter Man and all that. So as you can see, it's a lot to follow. It's a lot when it comes to them for this year. So I won't say they're struggling, but they're going through problems. And then the Shannon Sharp the little thing. I wanted to talk about that mainly because I just want to talk about accountability, and just how people just need to look and see how they can be more accountable, you know for themselves and for their actions. I feel like the world would just be a better place if we're just a little more accountable. Like, yeah, I know I was supposed to be at this event, but I couldn't go because I was here. But what I should have done and what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to call ahead and tell them ahead of time that I'm not going to be able to go. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody going to say no to your daughter's birthday party. Nobody. Not a single soul. Child, please. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, um, we all make mistakes, and we all grow from the mistakes, and we all get better. So at the end of the day, we're all human. So with that in mind, God bless you. God bless the first state, and God bless America. It's Wabi. I'm out.